The New York Knicks season has come to a close. They lose out against the Indiana Pacers. They lose the series 4-3. They lose the game 130 to 109. Bittersweet. Definitely thought we could have, won this series. But the basketball gods pretty much told us that it is not our time. It is not our time. All of these injuries finally caught up to the team. I want to shout out OG Anunoby. I want to shout out Josh Hart. Especially want to shout out Jalen Brunson. Came out that Jalen Brunson fractured his hand or thumb. Anunoby clearly wasn't 100. Am I back live right now? Let me know if I'm back live. Not sure what just happened, but let me know in the chat if you see me back live. I'm not sure. Are we back? Are we back? Let me know in the chat if we're back. I think we're back. I think we're good. Yes, we're back. All right, so sorry about that little hiccup. But look, all in all, I don't want Knicks fans to come out of this season, it was a disappointing end. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a disappointing. I wanted this win. But, taking a look at this season was just an incredible run, an incredible season from this Knicks team. Guys had career years. I'll get into this game. I see you guys with that huge momentum changer. I'll get into this game too, but I just wanted to reflect a little bit. And look, defense wasn't there this whole entire series. I mean, as soon as OG Anunoby, was hurt in game 2, defensively, we just couldn't cut it. The Pacers guards were just too much, just getting to the basket at will all the time. Halliburton showed up tonight. And then all in all, man, I mean, you just have to, just credit the Pacers, man. We lost. I know Brunson is probably, I don't know if he's going to speak now that he has a broken hand, but he's probably going to say no excuses. But this season was, to me is one of those seasons we'll remember for a while. And I want everyone to think about, reflect this season pretty much. This is the worst Knicks team you're going to see in these next couple of years. Obviously, we'll take the offseason. We'll get better. Trades, drafts, signings, the whole 9. But this team that was out there, the depleted team, made it all the way to 1 game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. 1 game away. So, yeah. You off again, bro? Let me know if am I live right? Am I good? Or am I just talking to myself? Am I good? Thumbs up in the chat. Let me know if I'm good, because I don't know what is going on with my connection right now. I don't know. Somebody doesn't want me to be on here. Let me know in the chat if I'm good. But let me know in the chat, and then I'll continue. Cam says, salute Ant. Salute Knicks Nation. Great run. Hell of a season. The guys left it all on the court. They just ran out of juice and couldn't defend all day. What's going on, Cam? Yeah, ultimately, defense was our main issue. I mean, offensively, we just didn't really have the juice, the punch. I mean, Dante showed up today. Alec Burks showed up today. But defensively, it was just a bad series, bad game, bad couple of games now. Back to, I mean, this whole series, defensively, we weren't good. But, obviously the injuries take a toll on that, especially when you just keep dropping like flies, man. At some point, it's like it's going to catch up to you. And I think right when Anunoby went down, it was like, and Josh Hart, injured himself, that was the final blow. It was just, you know, somebody, the basketball gods were just simply telling us it's not our time now. You know, it's not our time. Maybe this is the year before the year. Maybe this is the year before the year before the year. But this is this reflecting, obviously, it's still fresh. I know a lot of you don't want to hear this, but you kind of want to, you know, want changes. But look, reflecting is a good thing, and there were some good things that we saw throughout this, great things that we saw throughout the season. But yeah, let me hit some of these comments, and then I'll go back to my little. Oh man, just tough way to lose a season, especially Jalen Brunson, man. We'll talk about Jalen Brunson in a bit, but praise up to JB. I'm already seeing it. Eddie says we need a new coach. We're already seeing that. Why, Eddie? Why? Tom Thibodeau, I thought, had a great year. I think he should have been runner-up for Coach of the Year. I thought he made him and his coaching staff was tremendous. Finished the second seed despite all of these injuries. So that is the last place that is the last thing on my mind right now. A new coach. I don't think we need a new coach. If anything, Tom Thibodeau will get a massive extension this coming summer. And you can't argue against it. You can't argue against it. TA, in the NBA, if you can shoot, you have a chance to win games, even as, I don't know what's going on with my connection right now. I have no idea what's going on with my connection right now. I apologize. Of course, this has to happen at the last game, during the last game of the season. But I apologize this never happens. I don't know what's going on with my connection right now, but I appreciate you guys rocking with me and staying in here as I try to get this situated. But I think we're good now. We're live again. Yeah. I think it's because I'm broadcasting to Twitter as well. But yeah, I know it keeps freezing. I'm trying, man. Last post game of the season, and it's like this. I mean, we've been good all season long. Yosoro says, I'm proud of this team. Hyped for next season. There we go. Buzzer beater with the super chat. Our strategy was piss poor. This was on Thibs. Wow, buzzer beater. That is a crazy sentiment right there. I don't think it was on Thibs, man. I mean, eventually, who do you want Thibs to throw out there, right? I mean, when you have Anunoby, who, credit to the player, contract the year, is going to get a massive payday this summer, going out there, clearly can't run, trying his all to get back on that court. When you have Josh Hart with a abdominal strain, can't even breathe, still look good. Randall out. I mean, it's not on Thibs, guys. Buzzer beater. It's not on Thibs. It's not on Thibs. Nino says YouTube is messing with my guys live. Yeah, man, they are. They don't want me on here. They're trying to, take me off. I think I'm good now. It's not me. It's YouTube. PR says you back. All right. Mig says your connection got injured too. Yeah, I mean, all right, JB, man. I got the JB jersey on my shoulder. It's just an unfortunate, I think he landed on Tyrese Halliburton's knee, broke his thumb or hand or whatever. Just an incredible season from Jalen Brunson, top 5 in MVP voting, tried his best, injured foot, just tried to will us to the finish line. I think it's YouTube. I don't think it's my connection. I think it's YouTube, and I'm hanging my hat on that. But I think it's YouTube. So I got a good connection over here, but I think it's YouTube. Yeah, Bodega says YouTube tripping. Talk about this game a little bit. Appreciate you guys for sticking in here and staying with me. But I thought the turning point of tonight's game was Knicks cut it to, when was it? Knicks were down 7. Third quarter. Came out the second half hot. Deuce McBride gets the ball in the corner. Pump fakes his man. Siakam goes flying. McBride drives to the rim a little bit, has a wide open mid-range jump shot, decides to jump pass, turns the ball over. And I thought that was a huge momentum shift in this game, because that could have, if he pulls up there, obviously he wasn't confident in his shot, pulls up there, makes that jump shot, it's a 5-point game. But growing pains. again, this is kind of Deuce McBride's first go around. I'm sure he's going to think about that play for a while. Knicks had an opportunity to cut it to 5. Pacers went on their little run. I think they went on like an 8-0 run after that. And that was it. That was it. So, Deuce, I'm sure he's going to learn. I'm sure it's going to haunt him. It's not like that haunting, but I thought that was a massive momentum shift right there. Mike, what's going on? And I'm 33, going on 34. My 10-year-old son and 6-year-old son watched me as I literally cried in the last 3 minutes of the game. Not because we lost, but for the simple fact of, did we really deserve this? I am gutted. Mike, man. Yeah, it's just emotional, man. From obviously winning Game 5, and the winner of Game 5 obviously goes on to win the series 82% of the time. We felt good. We felt great going into Game 6. Obviously, Pacers blow us out, and then tonight we just weren't ready. We just weren't ready. And the thing that really sucks is Jalen Brunson going down with his hand injury. That was the final blow. That is the final knife to the chest. That's like, all right. You guys it's over. And obviously, I know Jalen Brunson's probably devastated right now. We're devastated for him, but I just want to celebrate his season, man, because for it to go out like that, I'm sure it's devastating. And I'm sure he was banged up with his foot injury. I'm sure we'll get information regarding. I'm live on Twitter now. Before I was live on X and Twitter. So I'm hoping that fixes it and we're good. So I think I'm live again. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But hit some of these comments. Hopefully you guys in the chat will update me throughout this live stream. But I think we're good because I'm only live on YouTube right now. TA says, maybe we just expected too much out of our bench players. Think about this, TA. Our bench was only supposed to be Josh Hart was our bench player. Think about that. Josh Hart, who has started since Randall went down, was supposed to be coming in off the bench for the New York Knicks. So when you insert bench players into the starting lineup, of course your bench is going to be thin. But his injuries were too much, you know. I hate to chalk it up as that, but are there things we could have improved on? Yeah, there are things we could have improved on. But at the end of the day, when a team is down Julius Randle, Bojan Bogdanovic, I thought Bogdanovic was a huge blow. Obviously, Randle, yeah, is a huge blow, but Bogdanovic could have had an amazing series this round. OG Anunoby was dominating the Pacers, had his best game as a New York Knick, Game 2 versus the Indiana Pacers. Hit his first couple of shots today. But ultimately, it had a flat tire in his hamstring. Got shot in his hamstring. And Josh Hart, man, amazing series, amazing few games, and then boom, strain. And that's the only injury where I might have to reconvene with you guys and come back later because I don't know if it's me or YouTube, but yeah. PR says guarantee if Randall is out there. 0JB double teams. The kid from Val says trade Randall for he said trade Randall for assets. That's going to be a topic of discussion this summer. Obviously, the Randall situation, but don't forget Randall. He went back to CAA, and he's extension eligible this summer. He's extension eligible. PR says, Chris says, got to keep Randall. I'm not going another season of Randall out or hurt. TA Cowboy says, look, that's going to be another discussion. It's whether or not the New York Knicks, what they decide to do with Julius Randle. I'm sure that's going to be a pretty hot topic. Last year hurt his ankle. This year, freak injury, shoulder. Decided to come back. Tried to come back, re-hurt it again. It's going to be a topic of discussion. It is. But, yeah. TA says we didn't even sniff the playoffs without JB, but he's got to have help. Yeah, think about this. The New York Knicks were one of the hottest teams in January. winning against the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, just with Randle and Anunoby. You really think the Knicks are going to go into this offseason and look, you think they're going to want to change that kind of big three a little bit? They can tinker things around them. They can add a piece there. If somebody throws a bag at Isaiah Hartenstein this summer, that's a concern. OKC has a ton of cap space. A lot of teams have cap space. They could throw Hartenstein $20-something million a year. I do think at the end of the day, Hartenstein will stay here. Mitchell Robinson, a lot of question marks this summer. What do you do with Mitchell Robinson? This connection situation is crazy. It's never been this bad. But look, if you guys are staying here rocking with me, I appreciate it. My daughter wanted to join the show. Last post game of the season. It's always go Knicks, right? It's always go Knicks at the end of the day, man. I'm sorry that if it's YouTube or my connection, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what is going on. Joel says if there's an amazing player out there that will boost our team, don't hesitate to trade Randle. Otherwise, keep him. He better not get hurt next season. We aiming for the 1 seed. NBA was not ready for us. Tony says I will not sign Hartenstein, trust in Mitch and Randle, and sign some role players and deepen the bench. Yeah, I mean, you can just look, a healthy Randle, a healthy OG Anunoby. I thought this Knicks team would have done wonders in this postseason. I thought we would have beat anybody. I thought we could have beat Boston. So yeah, JB, gotta have some prayers up for him. Hopefully he's good. All right, you can play with the iPad. But shout out to my daughter Aria for hopping in this live stream. But yeah, I mean, I just want Knicks fans to not be too sour about this loss. Obviously, we could have a closeout game in MSG. You expect them to win. You expect them to take everything out on the court, and that third quarter they did. They came back, but like I said, the basketball guys pretty much said this wasn't our time. This wasn't our time. You know, this Knicks team has a bright future. We have all of our assets. We have majority of our first round picks. We have 2 draft picks coming in this coming draft. I know most of you don't want to hear that right now, but it does stink at the end of the day. I know 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Finals, right? You wanted that matchup versus Boston. You kind of wanted that matchup versus Boston, and then you just said, whatever happens, happens. House money. I don't care if we get smoked. I don't care if we get swept. You wanted that matchup. And majority of you would say, even though we lost versus Pacers, you still chalk this up as a great season. And it was. So it stinks that we couldn't get that matchup versus Boston. But we will be back. We will be back. Nostalgic, what's going on? I'm trading most of the team minus the Nova boys. See, a lot of you guys are going to want to overreact to certain things. I'm not, man. I'm really not. Because remember what this team was in January. Remember what this team was in January and how this team was taking the lead by storm. Randle was looking great in January. Sharing the ball. He was efficient. Started to form chemistry with OG Anunoby. Are there still things to tweak? Yeah. Yeah. Do I have my opinions? Yeah. I do. We have 2 upcoming draft picks and a weak draft class. But the bench, in my opinion, needs some tweaks. Because remember, your starting 5 is essentially Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and if the Knicks can't retain Isaiah Hartenstein, it's Isaiah Hartenstein. And then it's what are you going to do with Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart's on the bench, and Deuce took a massive step forward this year, and Precious. Are you going to upgrade those positions? The Mitchell Robinson, the Precious Achiuwa, the Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride is on a team-friendly deal. I still think he's going to be on the team next year. But I think a stretch five will help this team tremendously. You saw what Miles Turner was able to do during these playoffs. Not sure if one's out there in free agency. I think a stretch five will do wonders. A center that can score off the bench. A center that can score. Because you need more scoring off that bench. Burks or Bogdanovich. Bojan, the Knicks have an option. They can pick it up. Burks, not sure if Burks is going to be back. Do you upgrade that spot? It's a lot of question marks. A lot of question marks. But not a lot of question marks. I should take that back. I think our core is set, but it's just the role players around them have to fit correctly. And this front office, they know what they're doing. They do. Mike, come back to us, Mike. Don't do that, Mike. Don't do that, man. Celebrate this season. Dynell, hope I'm saying your name right. I'm not trading anyone, but adding some bench depth, got to make some tough decisions. Yeah, it's all whether or not Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be retained. If somebody's going to throw the bag at Isaiah Hartenstein, I'm not sure the Knicks can keep him. Not sure. OKC is a team to watch. Spurs, team to watch. These teams with tons of cap space that are teams to watch regarding Isaiah Hartenstein. But I think at the end of the day, the Knicks culture, he loves New York. But, hey, if somebody's going to throw him a crazy amount of money, I'm not sure that he's going to – look, he deserves a bag this summer. But I'm hoping Isaiah Hartenstein will be back, and I'm pretty confident. PR says, hit that like and subscribe button. Plenty more of Knicks content to come. Yeah. Appreciate you, Chris, in the chat. Yeah, it's a bittersweet moment. Last post game of the season. But it doesn't end here. Obviously, it doesn't end here. I appreciate every single one of you, especially tonight, rocking with me through the connection issues. I'm not sure if it's me. I'm not sure if it's YouTube. But I think we're stable now. Knock on wood. I don't want to jinx myself. So, TA says, can't wait for your off-season content. Yeah. I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. Rocking with me all season long. This has been a great year. Obviously, I'll get into that towards the end of the post game. But look, bittersweet moment, man. Ortiz, I want to stay with the healthy team, with the same team, but they should try and get Mikal Bridges, and that's it. There were a lot of talk about there's going to be a lot of movement this summer. A lot of movement. And I feel like if the Knicks can keep their core and still get a move like that done to bring in another score, big body wing player, Booker's name's been out there, Durant's name's been out there, just throwing names out there. I'm not predicting anything. But, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of movement this summer. And in a year where the New York Knicks have 2 first-round draft picks in this upcoming draft, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to use one of them. But I think they're back-to-back picks. But it's going to be movement. But if you're Leon Rose in the front office, are you saying to yourself, we were right there? If we were healthy, we would have smacked this Pacer team. I think we would have swept them, personally. But we didn't. We lost. We would have gave the Celtics a run for the money, especially now that they're down Porzingis heading into that series with the Randle and Anunoby. I would have gave us a shot. But basketball God said no. It's not your time. So, yeah. It's just a lot of bad luck. Mike says this draft got some sleepers we can pick up, some players, upgrade our positions off the bench. I think a true point guard to help the bench get going at 3 and stretch 5 for sure. Yeah, I want to see the Knicks get kind of another ball handler off the bench because I'm not sure Burks is going to be back. A stretch 5, sort of like a Naz Reid type. Like Naz Reid on the Minnesota Timberwolves. They were interested in Naz Reid too, the Knicks. Sort of like a type like that. Retain Hartenstein and see if you can get just... That's where the NBA is headed. You know, you have to match up against Boston. Boston has 5 players on the court that can shoot the ball at all times. Boston is the target. Like, I know the Pacers beat us and this and that, but Boston is the team you need to beat. and retool in this offseason. Use your capital, use your cap space, use the draft. And one thing that this front office has shown us is that they're willing to do that. You traded RJ Barrett, traded Emmanuel quickly, got rid of Obi Toppin for OG Anunoby. Now, the OG Anunoby, I know a lot of people are going to say injured a lot, injury history, But from what we saw, I think we're 26-5 with OG Anunoby. Can't let that man walk. Can't. Tony says, do we play Randall at the 5 next year? Because not Hart or Dante will be coming off the bench. Josh Hart is going to be coming off the bench. And it's whether or not the Knicks, if they make a big splash, then Dante will be coming off the bench too. That's if they make a big splash. If they don't, you're keeping Dante in that starting lineup. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. Isaiah likes his team. Yeah, I think Hartenstein will stay. After I heard Brunson fractured his hand, I didn't want the Knicks to win anymore. I think they cut it down to 13. Look, you always want the Knicks to win, Benny. But yeah, it was sort of like the last twist for the sword. Like, this is not your time, man. But hopefully Brunson is all right. I'm sure he's devastated. But praise up to JB, an amazing season. Amazing season. Sam says, bitter pill to swallow. This was a great season. We got snake bitten as usual, unfortunately, as a Knicks fan. But bottom line, this team, we can all be proud of. Be proud of this team. Be proud of the New York Knicks. This is the worst Knicks team that we're possibly going to see in these next couple of years. We're going to improve this summer. We're going to get better. And that's scary. That is the silver lining of this loss. That's scary. They're not going to sit on their butt. They're going to use every asset and improve. Still got all our draft capital. Now, the Julius Randle situation went back to CAA. Maybe there was something negotiated regarding Julius Randle behind the scenes. Due for an extension, and we go for there. Do the Knicks wait to give him that extension, or we just have to wait and see? We just have to wait and see. Raphael, if Isaiah stays, he should start. Yeah, Isaiah Hartenstein is going to start no matter. Definitely, he's going to be the starter. He's definitely going to be the starter. Nostalgic, Brunson has to come off the ball. The Pacers did a great job to bother him defensively. I truly think a healthy Jalen Brunson, and I'm not making excuses, but he would have figured it out because we saw it in the Philadelphia 76ers series. He figured it out. But that was with an OG Anunoby, that extra three-point sniper in the corner. It kind of makes the defensive, it kind of makes their defense, you can't collapse to JB. If you have Josh Hart out there who struggled with his shot this series, it's different. So, hey, we went up 2-0 this series. That's the part that stings. Up 3-2, 2 chances to close it out. We just couldn't. We just couldn't. But be proud of this team, guys. A healthy Knicks squad would have swept the Pacers and could potentially push the Celtics to 7. Yeah, that's what makes this. Yeah, Johnson. If Deuce was I talked about that swing. Huge momentum shift. Third quarter, Knicks were down 7. Deuce McBride had a chance to cut it to 5. Turn the ball over. That right then and there was pretty much the nail in the coffin. Got the crowd involved in that third quarter. Everyone was going crazy. And he'll learn. Deuce McBride will learn. I have a feeling that he'll be better. He'll be back better. This was a tremendous season from Deuce McBride. Tremendous first round. He's on a crazy team-friendly contract. Growing pains. Remember, Deuce McBride is, I think, he's the youngest player on this team, right? So, growing pains. Sam says, should be an interesting offseason. This is the best Knicks channel, bro. Keep it up. Looking forward to new content. Sam, man, that's love. I appreciate that. Just getting started, man. Been doing this for 2 years now. I'm just getting started. Appreciate every single one of you here. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Knicks content doesn't stop, even though the Knicks season ended. We're going to bring you a lot of content. So appreciate every single one of you rocking with me. And it's last post game, man. Last post game, man. I really wanted to come on here and celebrate and pop the champagne bottle and go crazy. Eastern Conference Finals, but it just didn't work like that. It just didn't work like that. This team would never be healthy fully. We need more talent. The thing is, like, I wouldn't say that. Like, OG Anunoby does have an injury-prone history. But when he's on the court, it looks great. It looks amazing. So you can't just predict injuries. Like, what if you catch a good couple of years of OG Anunoby that's staying healthy and kind of manage it a little bit, and you're healthy and you make a run, right? The back-to-back years with Randall, the ankle last year, shoulder this year, I think it's bad luck, man. I just think it's just bad luck. It really is. It really is. I know Thibodeau. I know the media is running with the Thibodeau narrative, but I don't think that was it. I don't think that was it. I thought he got the crappy end of the stick. Benny says Mitch has zero offensive output. Injuries. Joshua says injuries destroyed the Knicks. Yeah, like I said, I do think if there's anyone that you guys should watch that's going to probably be on the block this summer, it's probably going to be Mitchell Robinson. You know, he's probably going to be the odd man out to improve this team. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Still on a good deal. But if the Knicks want to get better offensively, if they want to stretch five that can score, hit a three, then obviously in the draft as well. But we'll see. We'll see. PR says we have talent. We were one of the deepest depth teams. Then we got hit with injuries left and right. Yeah, I mean, and then Woody says try to bring everyone back. Yeah, I mean, look, the starting five I don't want to touch. There's been rumors about Randall, but I kind of don't want to touch the starting five. Unless you're able to bring in another star, then obviously Dante will be relegated back to the bench. But I kind of don't want to touch the starting five. I like our starting five, especially with OG and Randall. I really thought they formed chemistry in Hartenstein. That's going to be the big domino to sign this summer. The bench is kind of where it gets. Khaled says best ability is availability. True. The bench is kind of where you want to tinker a little bit. Josh Hart and Deuce McBride, in my opinion, are going to stay on this team. What do you do after that? Do you trade Mitchell Robinson? Do you get another stretch? You get a stretch five in here, an offensive guy that can kind of rebound and shoot threes and just do everything. What are you going to do with Burks? What are you going to do with Bogdanovich? Obviously, we still have a whole summer to talk about that stuff. But Bogdanovich, I think the Knicks will pick that up. I think Bogdanovich will be on this team next year because it's kind of like a team-friendly deal, and they can trade him. They could pick it up, then use that contract as a kind of like a fill-in. He can still play, too. He's not like Evan Fournier, who was a scrub and was just sitting on the bench, just rotting. If you pick up that contract, I think it's like $18 million. Let me bring up his contract. But you pick that up, you can also use that in a trade if there was a trade to come about. $20 million. It's $20 million next year, $18 or $20 million, I think. So you pick that up. You still have him on your bench. Get him in a training camp, chemistry. We just go from there. Because I thought when Bogdanovich, first round, he really started to get going. It's $19 million. It's $19 million, the Bogdanovich contract. Yeah, here it is. So you kind of keep him in the Mitchell Robinson contract. I think Mitchell Robinson has 2 more years. I know we're getting way too ahead of ourselves here, but I like doing this with you guys. Okay. That's not working. Sorry for the dead air time. Yeah, Robinson has 2 more years, and it goes down. 14 million next year, 12 million the year after that. So it's a tradable contract. I do think the Knicks, if they were going to make changes this summer, I do think it'll involve Mitchell Robinson. I could be wrong. Again, it is super early. But it's to talk about it. Obviously, we're trying to get through the season, and we're trying to figure out ways to improve the team. So, Raphael says it's still a celebration, only for Knicks haters that will have to deal with. They don't understand that we did what we did with what we have. I'm satisfied. Go Knicks. Raphael, yeah, my phone was blowing up. Obviously, people that hate the Knicks, they were calling my phone, and just children, childish. They want to see the Knicks fail, and they got it. They got it. They won't look at the injuries. They won't look at everything else. But that's the NBA. You deal with injuries year in, year out, right? I mean, you just have to overcome them. Bottom line, some teams are lucky than others, and some teams just aren't that lucky. And hey, I do think this was one of the best Knicks seasons that we've experienced in decades. I do. It's a fact. It's a fact. OG and Randall haven't played together. Tony, yeah, they did in January, and they looked glorious. Randall started passing the ball, and Randall's chemistry with OG Anunoby was absolutely started to form. Jabroni says most teams with stretch fives aren't willing to trade them. You'll either have to draft or sign one. I'm telling you guys, that's where the NBA is kind of going towards, is stretch fives, bigs. Well, I wouldn't say that, because Rudy Gobert obviously is a defensive anchor in Minnesota, but we still have Hardenstein. As long as you got one big that does everything, offensive rebounding, blocks, rebounding, defense, I don't think off the bench, I think you need like more scoring. Like you need another stretch five in here. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I'm not a GM, but I just think the Knicks need that off the bench this coming summer. Obviously, I typed in NBA free agent, the list for this coming summer, and it's still early. It's still early. Cat, what's going on? Randall has no value, inefficient forward that can't close game, liability off the ball. I think that's unfair to Julius Randle. I really do. Randle was an all-star this year. Was well on his way to probably making All-NBA again. And in January, I'm going to keep going back to January, where it was an absolutely incredible month for this Knicks team. And then Randle goes down, and we still were able to get the 2 seed without Julius Randle. Now, there's going to be fans that say Jalen Brunson was able to have such a great close to the season because there was no Julius Randle. There's going to be people that say that. But what you saw is in the playoff situation, you need another scorer. You need another guy that can get down low and score. Pacers had that with Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton. We beat the 76ers in the first round, but all in all, it was just not enough in the second round. So I don't agree with that, but some people will say that. Khaled says you give up Randall and Ragu for Booker, and that'll work. Suns need depth more than the star power. Knicks need star power to help Brunson. Julius Randle and Ragu for Devin Booker. That's a talk for the summer. It's too early for that talk. Mike, Ant, what do you think of Kelly Ware out of Indiana? LOL, but coached by Mike Woodson. If you don't know him, look him up and let us know, man. I will. I'll go through the draft process and obviously go through the draft process when that comes. And it's crazy. The draft is already in a month. So, Aria, can you close my door? Joshua says, whoever said that is foolish. How can we say that about Julius? Julius carried the Knicks so many games and won so many for us. If he was there, he would have handled Siakam. Oh, if OG was here, he would have handled Pascal Siakam. If OG Anunoby was here, he would have handled Pascal Siakam. But yeah, Julius is another relief from Jalen Brunson. That extra score. He's a talent. He is. And it wasn't more so the chemistry with Brunson and Julius. But remember, the chemistry with Randall and Anunoby was the one where I was like, okay, they're starting to form something here. They were looking great. I mean, amazing. So I don't think this Knicks front office is really going to go into the season and be like, just shake it, a massive shakeup. You know? But could be wrong. But I could be wrong. But there's two priorities this offseason. Two. You re-sign OG Anunoby. You re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein. So that's it. All right. Butterfield, Knicks fans literally said, but if we have Bogdanovich, man. Look, Jolando, you can have your own opinion. Bro, Randall was a 24-12 player. Congrats on a great season. Aunt Tyler, man, appreciate you in the chat. Yeah, great season, but the job ain't done. The job ain't done, Tyler. Job ain't done. It's just getting started. Obviously, we're bringing you guys more content. But, yeah, this season was a great season for the Knicks Nation channel. Obviously, appreciate every single one of you in here. And that's been rocking with me all season long throughout the post games. I know it's most of you don't want to hear this, but I really do. I really do appreciate the support. And we're just getting started, man. You know, we're just getting started. Tony says, I don't see Hartenstein coming back. You don't overpay for Hartenstein. Tony, you got to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein. Got to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein. But, you know, you have to wonder if another team is going to throw a massive payday at Isaiah Hartenstein. You have to wonder that. Could be possible. Could be possible. Let's take a look at the Twitter timeline really quick. Take a look at the Twitter timeline. Stephen A. Smith. First of all, I don't want Stephen A. Smith at the Knicks games, man. This guy's a curse. Came to the Knicks games for Game 7. Says pain. Jalen Brun's aunt, proud auntie mode activated. See y'all next, Steven. All right. Leaving the locker room for the final time this season, Josh Hart pointed at Isaiah Hartenstein and OG Anunoby and said, those two better come back. Yeah, they better. They better come back. And I think they will. I think they will come back. I think they will come back. Sorry, I just got thrown off there really quick. See if we have any more quotes. Tom Thibodeau on potential contract extension negotiations this summer. The Knicks have been great to me. This is where I want to be. Yeah, I mean, you have to just think about the season that this Knicks have and think about this coaching staff and the steps that Johnny Bryant took. Johnny Bryant's a name to watch. Will a team give him a chance, a head coaching chance? Who knows? But I want to retain him. Tom Thibodeau will get that extension. He will. It's going to be $10 to $12 million a year, something like that. But it doesn't count towards the cap. So I think Thibodeau will get that extension. Kendrick Perkins, great season by the Knicks, fighting through adversity all postseason long without making any excuses. Knicks fans should be proud in the direction this organization is going, building brick by brick. Carry the hell on. Shout out to Kendrick Perkins, who has been riding with us for majority all season long. Jalen Brunson asked if he thinks the season is a success, given what the Knicks have gone through and where they finished. Jalen Brunson, no. There you go. It's a failure. It's like the Aaron Judge mindset. It's a failure. It's a failure if we didn't win the championship. So the thing about Jalen Brunson is that he's no excuses for him. It's no excuses for Jalen Brunson. It's not injuries. It's not minutes. It's whoever's out there is going to contribute, and it's never an excuse for Jalen Brunson. Never. And the New York Knicks fan base, you guys in this room, the city of New York, should be honestly proud of this man for what he has done these first couple of years. First year, second round versus the Heat. This year, second round versus the Pacers. Didn't end the way we wanted to, but for him to just have an amazing season, be better than he was last season, and for it to end like that, obviously it sucked, but it was just an incredible season for number 11. And he's another one. This is why when people said this Knicks season was a fluke, that they're not going to be able to afford this current team, Jalen Brunson's contract is descending. Julius Randle has a team-friendly contract. DiVincenzo has a bargain. Josh Hart, bargain. He's still signed for many years. Deuce McBride, bargain. Mitchell Robinson, bargain. If you want to say it's a bargain. So, and the ones you have to worry about is obviously Anunoby and Isaiah Hartenstein. But I think they'll be back. I think they'll be back. If Hartenstein and Anunoby, even if one of them aren't back, I think out of those two, who do you think it is more important to retain? Obviously, they're both so important for our, team. But those of you in the chat, you can chime in. Who do you think is more important to retain? Obviously, both of them. But here's the offseason outlook for the New York Knicks. Committed salary, $156 million. 24 draft picks. We have picked 24, 25, and 38. Key free agents: Anunoby, Hartenstein, Precious restricted, Alec Burks. What to watch for: the cost to keep the roster together, the free agents, Anunoby and Hartenstein, the extension, Brunson and Julius Randle, the direction in the draft. Do you keep or move? That is obviously all questions for this summer. Do the Knicks keep those picks, or do they kind of punt and kind of just recoup more picks? The extensions for Brunson and Randle, I think that's going to be a question. Anunoby and Hartenstein, you want to retain them. And Burks, I don't know if it's a priority to get Burks back in the door, or Precious, whether the Knicks decide to keep him if they see another upgraded, power forward, another big body off the bench. It's another direction they can go, but we got options, We're flexible. We're flexible. Cap says OG easily. Yeah, OG Anunoby is important to this team. 26 and 5 with OG Anunoby. Or now 26-6 because we lost today, but I'm not gonna count it. Sign Malik Monk to come off the bench, and Boban and Hart and Mitch will be deep. The Knicks should sign Malik Monk. Smart Kid says OG Anunoby for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is the very early, free agency list. Just these first names are just Mo Bamba's an interesting one. Sadiq Bey, restricted. Miles Bridges, no for me. DeMar DeRozan. Paul George, unrestricted too. This list is just Isaiah Hartenstein, Gordon Hayward, Buddy Hield, Highsmith. Very early look at the free agency list. I know most of you guys don't want to see this, but very early look at the free agency list. I'm trying to get an update on OG and on Jalen Brunson to see what he's saying in the podium. Josh Hart says the future is very bright. I think there is hope for what we're building. I think we built the foundation of a franchise that's going to be fighting and moving in the right direction. I think we're giving the city and Knicks fans something to hope for. That is from Josh Hart. He is speaking right now in the locker room, and you're starting to get quotes from Josh Hart. Shout out to Josh Hart and OG Anunoby for gutting it out Game 7. We didn't think that, they were going to play. But look, Anunoby hit his first couple of shots, and then all in all, it was, he just couldn't give it a go. Jalen Brunson, they have been nothing but amazing. I can't really put into words what they mean to me. They deserve much more than what we were able to do this playoff run. Jalen Brunson on what Knicks fans have meant to him and the team this season. Shout out to JB, man. Supporting the squad, always has that positive attitude, and just love the season that Jalen Brunson had this year. Just love the season. All right, let me get off Twitter before any nonsense comes up on my timeline. But guys, last post game of the season, man. I appreciate every single one of you. We will be back doing a podcast. It will be scheduled, so you guys can hop in there, talk it over, obviously with my podcast co-host Chris. But once again, appreciate every single one of you that's been riding these post games. But job ain't finished, man. I'll be pushing out Knicks content on the Knicks Nation channel all summer long. TikTok, make sure you follow us on Instagram. It is at Knicks Nation on Instagram, no underscores. TikTok is at Knicks Nation with an underscore. Twitter is at Knicks Nation. Just make sure you're following us on all platforms. The Discord is now open. I'm in the Discord. We talking about everything, rumors, you name it, man, all summer long. And if I hear something, I'll get it to you guys as soon as possible. And if you guys want to become a channel member, you can by just as little as $2.99 a month or $4.99 a month. You can just support the channel. Really means a lot to me. I think, a couple of channel members were in here today, so I appreciate you guys. Mike Woods is a channel member. Appreciate you. This was fun. This was a crazy season, but the job is not finished. Raphael says definitely proud of Brunson, but this season is a success. We will get better. People will hate. Scared. We will win a championship soon. 58 never watched the Knicks win one. Hurry. Raphael, man, appreciate you. Yvette, Knicks need a good scorer and a good defender. Yeah. It'll be addressed this summer. Our defense was we were one of the best defensive teams in January with Anunoby and Julius Randle. Remember that. So, yeah, job ain't finished, though. Job ain't finished. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. As always, it is Let's Go Knicks. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.